Welcome back to American Agenda. I'm Bob Sellers with Heather Childers. The National Republican Congressional Committee releasing a new ad blasting Democrat Congressman from Wisconsin, Ron Kind. The Democrat allegedly visited massage parlors that advertised on illicit websites. This comes as the House Republican campaign arm is targeting dozens of Democratic incumbents in next year's midterm elections. The GOP is focusing on 10 vulnerable House Democrats as part of its plan to help the GOP retake the House. Do they have a good chance of doing that? Joining us now to discuss, Republican strategist Jennifer Nusur and Democratic strategist Kelly Hyman. So, Jennifer, what do you think?
I think that the Republican Party has a great opportunity to retake the House in 2022. I mean, number one, history suggests that. What we've seen all through history is that, and you could look just more recently, if you look during George Bush's term, during Barack Obama's term, during President Trump's terms, the party in power always loses in the midterms. And so you're going to see that right now. Not only that, but historically we have had bigger majorities on either side with the party in power. Currently, they're only up 6. There are 3 that are already retiring. There are 6 that are moving on to do something else, I think, and the NRCC is targeting, I think, 47 seats. So I see that this is a good pickup opportunity for the GOP.
So, Kelly, the Republicans need to pick up 5 seats in next year's election to win control of the chamber. Do you think that they can do it?
I think we have to wait and see. And yes, historically, whoever's in the White House, usually the other side gets more seats. However, we have to remember under FDR, because of his leadership, Democrats had more majority. So ultimately, we're going to have to see what American people are feeling and how they're doing economically, socially, and then go out to the polls and vote.
Yeah, and you didn't even have to go back that far. You could have gone back to Bill Clinton. Midterm, in which they actually kept it when they were trying to, when they tried to impeach him and they overplayed their hand, the Republicans did. That's the argument there. Jennifer, I'm wondering, though, what role will President Trump play, you think, in these? Because the endorsements seem to mean a lot within the party. Having said that, some people experienced political operatives, if you will, say that if you get an endorsement within the party, that eliminates some of the party who may not then vote in the general election.
Yeah, I mean, so 6 of these seats that are being targeted are actually in Trump districts and in seats that Trump had won both in 2016 and 2020. So I think in an area like that, it plays really well. You know, in New England, not going to play so well. On the coast in California, probably not going to play so well. So I think, you know, this is really strategy. This is where party chairs need to really participate. They're on the RNC. They get to have a role. I was a party chair. I know how this all works. And so, you know your own state, you know your districts, and you know what kind of message will fly. And I think this is the opportunity. I think also, look, I mean, you know, the Democrats are pushing forward this, I call the delusional Democrats. They're pushing forward this socialist agenda. And I think that a lot of people, once they see that stores are shutting in their areas, that schools are still not back, and that people are just walking around thinking they have extra money in their pocket and they don't, they're going to have very different perception in 2022.
Yeah, Kelly, that goes toward the question that I was going to ask you. In terms of the Biden administration, do you think that they are overplaying their hand and it will come back to haunt them in the elections?
No, I absolutely do not think that they're outplaying their hand. I think when he took office, he rolled up his sleeves and wanted to help the American people with the COVID relief plan and also with infrastructure and build back better.
But to the tune of, what, $6 trillion that we're going to have to pay for. And he is lying about things when he talks about this not impacting people that are not in the top 1% of the economy, because what he's talking about is going to impact everyone when it comes to paying for it.
Well, I would disagree with you. He has proposed the fact that he would increase the corporate tax, and so that way it would come from the corporate tax rather than be 21%, which was lowered under the Trump administration, to 28%.
Who do you think pays corporate taxes? Who pays for that?
The corporations pay for the taxes.
And what do corporations offer? Services or products, right? And how would they cover that additional tax?
what they would call it, they're making so much money off the people that are working hard people. And so it wouldn't affect the American people to do that.
So
I would disagree with you on that.
Okay. Well, traditionally, historically, it shows us they either raise taxes or cut costs in some way. So when you raise corporate taxes, and then that's assuming you don't lose them to another country with lower tax rates. So we can have that other conversation because we're running out of time here. Don't mean to cut it off there on purpose, but we'll continue the conversation elsewhere. Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Thank you. May the force be with you.